I'm with WGBH, which you tend to think of as a television station. And next slide, please. We generally are a television and radio station, and we've been involved in STEM education from pre-K through lifelong learning through many of our properties that are shown here, from Curious George and Peep in the Big Wide World for preschoolers all the way up through Nova and Nova Science Now. The two projects that I want to talk about today are Engineer Your Life and Design Squad. So next slide. So Engineer Your Life started out in 2004, really, when we were asking why aren't more girls in engineering, as much of the community was asking why more girls aren't in engineering. Next. And in phase one of this project, we did work with corporations, many of you here in the room, and universities, many of you here, and professional societies, certainly, again, a lot of you here in the room and a lot of others as well, to ask that question. And we worked with organizations like Mitch here and BBMG and Global Strategy Group to do the same research, because we wanted what we were doing to complement the CTC work that was going on. We didn't want to be working separate from them, but we were looking at slightly different audiences. So we were looking at the question, why aren't more academically prepared high school girls not choosing engineering? We thought, I think that the traditional wisdom had been, if we can just get more girls to take math and science courses in grammar school and middle school and high school, then they'll go into these careers when they graduate. Well, they're pretty much taking those math and science courses, and they're doing as well or better than boys all the way through, but they're not going that extra mile, so there's something else that's holding them back. Next. And when we talked to the girls, we did nationwide surveys of girls, of people that are in engineering and that are trying to recruit girls into it, of guidance counselors, of teachers, and said, what are you telling girls about engineering? And then we asked girls, what do you want out of a career? What do you think about engineering? What appeals to you for your future life? What we learned is that the messages that we have traditionally had been putting out were being heard loud and clear by the girls, and were being rejected because they didn't match what the girls said that they wanted. So the enemy was us, as we've all heard before. Next. And in fact, I don't know how many of you read the comics. I know the Times doesn't have comics. That's why I get the Boston Globe, because I like comics. And the November 11th Sylvia comic, I don't know if you can read it, but it's Bad Girl Science Chats. And it says, turns out the reason more young women don't go into math and science is not because Larry Summers said they were too stupid to do math. No, because they see those careers as incompatible with the goal of helping others. Man, that's like taken right out of all the work that we've been talking about today, isn't it? And it's being picked up by the Sylvia cartoon, which is pretty interesting. It is really the goal of helping others. So next. As I said, we wanted to develop some relevant messages. So we did work with BBMG and Global Strategy Group, the same firms that are helping with CTC, and really had this goal of complementing each other's work. Next. And these were the messages that we kind of came up with, and we were looking at what appeals to girls and what appeals to boys. We didn't want to turn off boys, but they weren't our major target audience. So of these ones that we came up with, the one that floated to the top for girls was live your life and love what you do. And to girls, love is a pretty powerful statement, especially to high school girls, being in love and what that all means to them. And that's what they want. They want love in their life, and they want it in their jobs. And so kind of the love and dreams and all of that, they all are very complementary, and they really do resonate with one another. Next. So what we wanted to do, too, was to create these turnkey resources, this toolkit of resources that people can use. So we've developed, used the same message in the CTC messaging and the EYL messaging to develop our new definition of engineering. We have video profiles of women, of young women engineers, and we found that anybody over about the age of 35 really doesn't resonate with a high school girl. It's their mother. It's too old. It's too established. It's too scary. Like, okay, well, it's great that that you're the head of DuPont, but if you're 17, you don't really, that's way off in the future. You really want to say, well, what can I do when I'm 28, when I'm 30? I'm probably not going to run a corporation at that age. So that's great way out there, but I need to see something that's a little closer to what I can do in my foreseeable future. We have a robust website that receives many, many visitors, and it has been changing. We have been updating it regularly. We've been working with Diamax here to develop it for us. We have free posters, free brochures, free postcards that we've been distributing and sending out, and can still do that to anybody who wants them. And like Colorado, who've taken the designs and simply made them their own. They haven't used our materials. They've taken it and recreated it using our designs, which is more than we could have hoped for somebody to do, and it's just really great the way that it's worked out. We do have social media strategy. Our Facebook group has 1,700 fans on it, so that's pretty great, and it's growing rapidly. And we have an engineer's pledge on the Facebook page that says that we encourage you all to go to. It's engineeryourlife.org, and take the engineer's pledge to talk about engineering in this new way, to really promote engineering as a creative and exciting career. We do a lot of webinars, and as well as face-to-face trainings with engineers and with university folks, with educators, with teachers, with parents, to promote engineering and promote talking about engineering in new ways. And we've worked with engineering societies and firms and guidance counselors to host booths at college fairs around the country, so that girls can come in when they're looking at colleges, but also then begin to think about different kinds of careers when they're there. I know people have been talk about engineering as a rewarding way of doing it, and we're starting to say, don't talk about the how of becoming an engineer, talk about the why. Why do you become an engineer? What do you get to do? And I think Don or someone said it earlier today, that doctors don't talk about how they became a doctor, but why they became a doctor, and it's the same kind of thing. Next. So our new definition is that we are changing the world all of the time. We dream up creative, practical solutions and work with other smart, inspiring people to invent, design, and create things that matter. And when we tested things with girls on this project and on some others that we work with, we really went back to the target audience all the time. It's not a bunch of old white-haired people sitting in a room saying, what do girls like? But it's going back out and saying, does this work for you? And they've even helped us to wordsmith this. They've even said, don't put you are changing the world all the time. Put we are changing the world, because that really then personalizes it for us. We are changing the world all the time. We dream up these kinds of solutions, so that it's not pointing out, it's a pointing back to yourself. Next. So this is just a snapshot of the homepage of our website, and it starts right out with taking a quiz, because that's one way of getting girls kind of interested. And this quiz says, what did you like to do as a kid? A, play video games, or B, ride your bike. And depending on what your answers are to certain questions, it sends you to, it profiles different kinds of careers in engineering, so that they get an idea of what's going on. And right there, that's a video clip that plays right on the home page, where you can see this woman. And it doesn't just show these people at their jobs, but it shows them in their life, bicycling to work, walking their dogs, so that you see that they do have a well-rounded life. It's not just spent alone in front of a computer or in a workshop by themselves. There are 10 reasons why you'll love engineering. There are messages. The message is front and center. Engineer your life. Dream big. Love what you do. I mean, all of this is reinforcing the messaging using the same kinds of languages that we've been talking about throughout the day. Next. This is the engineer's pledge on our home page. It says, take the pledge and change the way you talk about engineering. And then these are some bullets that that we suggest that you do. Tell people about the creative aspects, promote the collaborative nature, and talk about how engineering makes a difference. If you agree, then like our Facebook page. And that's all you have to do. That's what taking the pledge means. And so we're trying to just build this community that reminds themselves that these are the big characteristics that we need to reinforce when we're talking about engineering. Next. And we do have some results. We have worked with independent third-party evaluators on, has Engineer Your Life made a difference? Yes, it's a website, it's video profiles, it's presentations, it's postcards. We did, a couple years ago, mail postcards twice a year to every girl that scored over a certain amount on the PSATs. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was, but every girl in the nation got these postcards 2 times a year. And teachers have the postcards to hand out, have brochures. You can still request them from us, and we'll send them to you. And so then we looked at, okay, so this evaluator found that EYL is sparking an interest in engineering, that 79% of girls familiar with EYL, that means who came to the website or said they've seen a postcard or something like that, list engineering as their #1 career choice. It really has changed their minds. And that it's inspiring girls. 75% of them said that going to the site made them want to take an engineering class. and that it's helping them understand the rich variety of interesting jobs that are available to engineers and how to actually pursue an engineering degree. There's a part on the website that says, take engineering for a test drive, so that you get to kind of explore it a little bit and find out what it's all about. Next. And so this is the end of the EYL part of the presentation. I just want to shout out to our funders and the people who've helped make this happen through the years. And it's the National Science Foundation, Northrop Grumman, Stephen Bechtel Jr., and United Engineering Foundation, UEF. So thank you very much to those. Now, another project that GBH is doing that uses the messages but is somewhat more traditionally media-based is Design Squad, which is being reformatted in January as Design Squad Nation. Next slide. So Design Squad is a TV show. How many of you have seen Design Squad on public television? Oh, a bunch of you, great. If you haven't, it does stream on the Design Squad website too, pbs.org/Design Squad. And you can see past episodes, and in January, new episodes launch. And it has traditionally been teams of youth that have taken on a challenge that was given to them by a client. So, what was I going to say? A football team or someone like that may say, build me a cannon that can shoot T-shirts into the stadium, into the stands. And so the teams would take it on, and they would each build their designs and come up with, brainstorm it and test it and build it and design it and retest it. And so now you can see that these messages, dream it, build it, live it, right here, right up front and center on Design Squad. And it's going to relaunch in January. Next. The design process here, identify a problem, brainstorm, design, build, test and evaluate, redesign, share solutions. That's the design process that you're all familiar with, and it is really reinforced throughout the show and throughout everything that Design Squad does. As the kids or as the hosts are helping the kids do something, the words will actually scroll across the screen, that they're brainstorming, they're designing, they're testing, so that it reinforces what that whole design process is. And it really is helping kids to think about things a different way. And I know we heard earlier that this design process, this way of thinking, can help in so many different parts of your life. And so we are trying to really reinforce this process through the TV show. We have activity guides that go along with the TV show, the website that we distribute to after-school programs, to teachers, to professional societies to use in their outreach efforts. Next. These are all the various resources that we offer. They're on the website. There are 40+ animations. There are 46 episodes that stream. There are profiles of engineers, challenges. These are hands-on activities and things that kids can do. There are short video challenges as well, and a new wish exchange where kids come on and they wish for something that they're dreaming of, that they would like to see happen, that they are going to take on and make happen for themselves. And these are some of the guides that we've developed on the left-hand side of the screen. So there's an Invent It guide, an On the Moon guide, teacher's guides, event guides, activity guides. There's all kinds of things. They're all downloadable from the website. They have reproducible handouts to give to kids for activities. And these are available in Spanish also. Next. This is the new I Wish page. It's going to launch tomorrow on December 1st. So this is just a prototype. It's not filled in. It's not pretty yet. But you can see that it starts out right away. Make a wish to start a new project. I wish, and then you get to write it in. And depending on certain keywords that you use, it'll take you to different parts of the site, because the site is rich now. And we'll show you some videos or some activities that relate to that kind of thing that you've wished for. And we'll be seeding it with some wishes that are based on some upcoming episodes, but we'll also definitely want kids to put their own wishes in. Next.